when last we left our intrepid adventurers, they had, well, I don't know if I want to say they had a decision to make, because there's a certain outcome that has to happen. But we're going to argue about it the whole session. Oh yeah, first the Warforged. That's right, we were fighting Warforged. Because they decided we were dumb and were going to fight us. I can't remember exactly what we said that set them off. Something about our plans to go and muck about with the Empire's program to end slavery or something. So, the Warforged attacked us, and they won initiative, and they had a surprise round. How did they win initiative? Isn't Ben Gerard still critting on them?
Well, I don't know if that would have made a difference, but Shannon and Robin talked, and Shannon wanted to roll it anyway because her base initiative is so much higher than Gerard's that she figured she had a better chance of getting high than even if he rolls a 20. So she was the initiative champion and got 35, and they got 36. So I think that's like the first time anyone's won initiative against the party in since like level 5. And they had a surprise round, and because they just totally just out of the blue started attacking them. Yeah, and it was
Croesus
devastating.
Croesus was unconscious for some reason.
I don't know who could have caused that problem.
Croesus brought it on himself, really. So the first round, as John says, it was devastating.
They had positioned themselves surreptitiously to be made sure they were next to all the party members, including the squishy ones. And they just unloaded. They took down Serendipity.
Yep. Brought her to below negative bloodied, which under the base rules says she's insta-killed. John has a house rule. When a PC gets insta-killed like that, effectively they've missed 2 out of 3 death saves. So they get 1 death save left.
Then, because she was a healer, they took down Cricket. And then, because he was a crit monster, they took down Gerard.
Yep.
And then, because he was the last one left, they took down Hank. Bam, bam, bam.
So the whole party went to 0, except Croesus, who was asleep.
I mean, they hadn't even had a short rest from the last encounter. Neither had the Warforged. But, and they were all just.
So,
I did roll, I think, at least 2 crits in there, which helped.
I know that the Warforged critted a lot. I was rather surprised at that. We probably would have gone down anyway, but that made it very thorough. Especially in Serendipity's case, because she was really hurting.
She was 1 death save away from dying. Croesus' unconscious save ends because of Cricket putting him to sleep.
Because of Croesus trying to smash open one of those tubes. Let's make sure we get the root causality correct here.
So
I had to do it.
The whole party is unconscious. And it looks really bad. But it comes down to Croesus gets a save out of unconsciousness. So it all comes down to that. Because she couldn't take the suspense, Serendipity pre-rolled her death save that she's going to have to make next round.
Right, she
failed it. So if he doesn't save, she dies. And even though they're epic, they haven't got their once per day when you die abilities yet.
Right.
But Croesus wakes up. He looks around the battlefield. All of his allies are laying unconscious. The Warforged is standing over them with bloodied weapons.
Yeah.
And he just wakes up. I can fix anything. And he gets up and he potion jumps two of the characters. They wake up. He takes out another guy, or he attacks one of the Warforged. By the end of his round, everyone is up except Cricket, I think. So it didn't help.
His nemesis.
It didn't help his belief that he can fix anything, because it was just down to him. He was the last one left.
He pops up, fixes everything.
That's what you guys told him.
Yeah, well, it's getting increasingly hard to talk him out of this delusion when it just keeps being true. I mean, that's sort of been what the party's been dealing with Cricket all this time, but Anyway, so now that the whole party is back up again, we turn the tables and we start pounding away on the Warforged. Serendipity uses her, what was it, the lure thing?
The thing that, well, she made a little mini obelisk and they all ran to it and were immobilized while the party just hung back.
Yeah. And then Ben Gerard is online. He's a crit monster. He turns into this giant wolf. I think in one round he bit the heads off of 3 Warforged. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
I think it was just 2.
Just 2?
The third one was the next round.
All right.
But, yeah, they took the whole party down. Croesus wakes him up and then he just...
Yep, just pop, pop, pop. Heads come pop.
How did he wake them up again? What was it?
He potion jumped them. He gave them various healing potions and whatnot.
Yeah, he's been keeping potions for like the whole campaign for like emergencies.
And this was, I guess, an emergency.
and he's used them quite a bit to help out the party. And Tim was just mentioning, you guys owe me for all these potions. I mean, Croesus would never say that, but I'm saying it. You guys owe me for all these potions that I spent on you.
Fair enough. So, the surviving Warforged, we whittled them down to 2 very quickly.
Well, I think there were 5, and Gerard ripped 3 of their heads off.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were bloodied. And one of them actually entered the BS Warforged state.
Yes. He's below 0.
Where they're basically dazed but still able to act until they hit negative half bloodied or negative bloodied.
So they surrendered. They realized that there was no hope that they were going to make any sort of progress against us.
That reminds me, because they surrendered because it was optimal. So that reminds me of when the giant wolf was bearing down on the one Warforged, ready to rip its face off. He just looked up at this huge wolf. He said, "This is not optimal."
So the Warforged surrendered and were like, did they like drop their weapons and stuff?
Yeah, they basically said, "Look, let's just agree not to fight anymore. We're just gonna leave, okay?"
Let's call it a draw.
And so we
What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
And they were like, the party was like, "Well, you're gonna tell us what you're doing?" No.
Well, all right then. So then the arguing started. For the rest of the session, insert argument here. So the situation, in case Lee, or you remember what the problem is here?
Barely.
This is Cricket's birthday. Cricket's about to exist.
That's right.
And we've discovered that the process of creating domestics involves killing former pain slaves.
Yeah.
And so everyone's all upset about the moral implications and blah, blah, that sort of thing.
And Serendipity has learned something more, but she hasn't told the party yet.
Yeah.
What did she secretly learn?
And, well, we'll see in a moment, because she will tell the party later in the session. Or rather, she busts out her bluff and tries making a horrible lie, but we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, we need to kill these people in order to make Cricket exist. And the rest of the party doesn't really know that yet in character. Only Cricket knows. And she's trying, because she knows that as soon as they find out, there's going to be all sorts of, we shouldn't do this, blah, blah. And she agrees it is pretty horrible. It's not a happy thing, but it's something that has to happen. And she doesn't trust Croesus to not do crazy things and try and stop it.
Immediately start smashing all the lab.
Yeah, like he was trying to do. And so she's very hesitant to reveal details. I continue to sort of repeat a mantra in my head that, I should never have let them out of the basement. This was a terrible mistake. But ultimately, I have to tell them.
Because Katrina, who is the person that everyone was trying to kill, so is presumably tied to Cricket.
Yeah.
Tries just running away because during the battle with the Warforged, she's just like out of here as fast as she can.
Yeah.
But they catch her before she leaves, and Cricket just holds on to her and restrains her so she can't go. And everyone else is like, why?
Yeah. What's going on, Cricket?
She's sobbing because she just wants to get back to her children who were left in the previous room, right?
Yeah.
So, this is a horrible place. She just wants to get back and see her children and make sure they're okay. And Cricket is like holding on to her with all of her strength, preventing her.
Yeah. And so I have to end up telling the party what's going on, because basically Serendipity asks. And I was right. They're like, yeah, this is horrible. We got to try and not do this. And I'm quite insistent that, yes, it's horrible, but there is no other way, because this is what happened. This is how it went down.
You couldn't sack yourself to make yourself?
No,
Jump in
the
the
process obviously requires the death of people.
Oh, Brian. When will you learn? Okay, continue. You could have time looped yourself. Yeah. Time loop Katrina.
No.
I am my own janitor.
So, Katrina, of course, overhears some of this as well, and she starts freaking out more.
Because they're talking about how, okay, we have to kill them in order to make this work. And she freaks out. When it's obvious she can't get away, she's just quietly sobbing.
John's really playing up the whole innocent victim thing here. Like she's never done anything bad. Anyway,
She saved those Eve soldiers by being a pain slave.
Well, no, because she'd be dead then if she had, but...
She was ready to sacrifice herself.
That's right.
Intent was there.
I mean, pain slaves are as good as dead anyway, right? Eventually. So, let's see. I'm trying to remember how it went down. They were trying to convince Katrina that her sacrifice would lead to, it'd be for the better of the world because Cricket saved the world and stuff.
Right.
And
well, if they do mess with this time, it will mess with the whole party's history, which they have stopped the world from the end of all things. So
they were making diplomacy checks on her.
Right.
Oh yeah, initially I had tried a bluff on Croesus. I had assured him that all of these pain slaves in the tubes, they would be freed. Which is true from a certain point of view.
From their physical being.
Yes, but John did require a bluff check on that one. Croesus didn't entirely buy it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you end up being tied.
Yes.
So I said, you can take it as seriously as you're taking it in real life.
Yeah. Which is not fair because he is out of character and all. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. I didn't really expect it would work, but I have to try. So finally, what was it that they were... While they were in the phase of we have to somehow stop this from happening, it was looking like that was the way things were tilting. And if Serendipity and Hank decided that's the way it's going to go, then Cricket has to go along with that. But it was kind of, we were way off of the handbook here.
So Cricket was getting very fierce, well, at least with the people who didn't own her.
Yes, I was yelling at Croesus, no, sit down, shut up, do as I say. This is important.
I'm the party leader.
Yeah, well, I didn't even pull that out. I was just like, yeah, I know what's going on, you don't know what's going on, you're crazy anyway. We can't have you messing everything up because you're going to mess everything. I was really yelling at him. It was looking like the party was going to try and somehow do this.
Stop it.
Yeah. And I considered we were far enough off the handbook that I needed a what is it the term?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's one thing that happened before that leads into it.
Yeah.
And that is that Hank thought he trusts Cricket, so he just thought we should do what she was saying.
Yeah.
And so he just grabbed Katrina and just started hauling her towards the thing.
Yes, because everyone's arguing endlessly, and Hank is a man of action.
Right. And
so he decided it was time to just grab her and haul her down.
The other people are like, this is not going to stand. Like, maybe we have to do it, maybe we don't, but we're not going to drag a screaming woman, shove her in a tube, and kill her. That's not happening. So the party erupted into violence.
I pointed out that I ordered 500 innocent people to be massacred in order to preserve a side quest that we had in our history.
So a mini combat ensued where Croesus attacked Hank. Hank teleported away. Gerard subdually critted Hank, took him out in one turn, and sat on him. And he was in dog form, so it was dog versus dog, right? This is like the ultimate dog dominance. Gerard won.
So dog eat dog world out there.
I'm having my owners being attacked, my owners deciding I should never have existed. It's hugely messy.
And Serendipity had at this point was saying, I think we should not do it. So now one of Cricket's owners is saying we're not going to do it. The other one has been knocked unconscious and is unable to communicate by the agents.
Two left?
Huh?
How many people own this?
Just those two.
Oh.
Hank and Serendipity.
Yeah, the others gave up their shares.
Yep, or in Gerard's case, never had a share.
So now you're like, well, guess we're not doing it.
No, now I'm like, I'm completely off the rails here. There is no way for me to tell based on the rules that I believe in what is right here.
She also doesn't trust Serendipity right now.
Yeah.
Because Serendipity has revealed what she learned by studying the machine.
She tried to claim that machine somehow transferred the souls of the pain slaves into the domestics when they were created. And I was just like, why have you turned on me like this? Why are you making these lies? You were my rock. You were the one who understood.
So she studied it and she's determined that actually is what happens.
Yeah.
She tried doing an Arcana check to explain it to Cricket, and she only got a mediocre result. And so, Cricket is convinced at this point that for some reason Serendipity is making up some weird BS about this process. And she's baffled. She doesn't understand why. Why would Serendipity do this?
Serendipity failed her truth roll.
Yeah, essentially.
Oh my goodness.
She was up against a really tough...
I mean, this is a core value that she's trying to overturn. It's got to have a hell of a difficulty.
Yeah. So Now on to layer 2 of my defenses, but well, not quite. I'm not actually on to layer 2 yet. But anyway.
So one owner is telling her that she has a soul, and the other owner is unconscious, and it's telling her she has a soul, and is suggesting a course of action that seems catastrophically bad to Cricket.
Mm-hmm. To everyone, everything.
The other owner is unconscious because the faction that Serendipity is in has knocked him unconscious.
Yeah.
Cricket is in trouble.
Yeah. So I spend a cinematic point to speed up my ritual casting, and I contact the High Priestess of the Temple of Freedom, and of course the rest of the party.
Who's on the other side
of the door? Yes.
But you don't know that.
No, and also it's important that the rest of the party doesn't know what's going on.
I think they know that, but
Actually, I don't know if the rest of the party knows it.
no, they don't. But
She got out of there
Cricket knows
before.
the High
Yeah,
Priestess.
Cricket knows she's over there. But the thing is, as far as the rest of the party sees, Cricket just sort of suddenly, in the midst of all this, goes silent and is just like that.
Yeah.
So they figure, oh, she's just broken.
We broke her.
Oh.
Warranty replacement.
So yes, I am disobeying an order to do this.
But it's for your own
But
existence.
in this case, I don't even know what orders should
Are valid.
Yeah, what the heck? And it turns out I was right about everything. It's always so validating every time Cricket talks to the High Priestess of Freedom, because she always says, yes, everything you think is true, and you're doing the right thing, and all your choices
You don't have a
are correct.
soul, right? She probably said you don't have a soul.
I don't think she's ever had to. In this case, the question basically, I opened with, you don't know me, but I'm a time-traveling domestic from the future. And the rest of the party at the table, the players are all like, no. But I was careful. I didn't say, what my name was, or that I'd used Panadar, any of those other extraneous details. Just the
Although
important
someone
things.
commented that they've been arguing loudly outside the door using Cricket's name prolifically, but
Yeah.
she didn't use her name in the sending.
Yeah.
So the High Priestess has no idea who she is.
So, yeah, I basically explained, I'm a time-traveling domestic, and my owners are currently in a big debate, and it looks like they're going to follow a course of action and order me to follow a course of action that will result in me never existing in the first place. The handbook doesn't cover this. What do? And basically, she said, okay, emergency patch. You can disobey orders that would cause you to have never existed in the first place. That's valid. There's a very few number of things where you can disobey orders, and that's now added to the list.
What are the other ones?
Oh, stuff like, you can't support slavery. You're not allowed to spill secrets from your previous owners.
There's a very finite list then.
Yeah.
But you know what? She could argue it that if you do something to make to have you never existed, then you wouldn't have been able to be there to help and help in the future, and
You would have robbed your previous owners of your existence.
you can't do
there's
that.
a-
You can't do that.
Yeah, basically, I suspected this was the case.
Right.
And once again, the Serpent Priestess is like, yes, you're right about everything, Cricket.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Cricket.
You're the best. You're the best. And I'm like,
Is that really what did she actually say verbatim?
That's
almost
pretty
in
much
those
it.
words.
Okay.
Almost
Yeah.
in those
Without the name Cricket.
You
Yeah.
were right to contact me. Good job, Cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, she
You're
said
doing-
Cricket?
Oh no,
Well,
shit, no. Good job. You're doing really well,
Okay.
etc.
And
Stuff
your
like that.
interpretation is correct. You should disobey that order, etc. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference between Brian's madness and actual storytelling.
And what does that tell you? Maybe it's not madness.
No, that's madness.
The Serpent High Priestess was very affirming.
Okay.
Okay, Cricket was doing just the right thing.
Yeah.
Her instincts were correct.
How much of this were you anticipating when Cricket first contacted the High Priestess? The High Priestess said, "Oh yes, I was there when you were created." Were you already planning that we were going to have to go back to Cricket's birthday? And
Well, I've been planning that you're going to go back to Cricket's birthday since the beginning of the campaign.
okay,
So, I wasn't
I suspected as much.
planning these particular details, but I
Yeah.
thought it might be interesting if she was there, and
No.
why not?
Yeah. I did have to pull a Jenga block. Just one, because I was trying to be very careful. But it's inevitable that I had to give some information that would.
And I was like, it's only 7. They'll probably pull it fine. You don't need to bother. And Shannon was like, no, you need to pull it because at this point Shannon was kind of broken because she couldn't handle the moral dilemma, right? Like it was looking more and more like they're just gonna have to kill these innocent slaves or history will break.
Right.
And she was just like, you know what? I wish we'd never time traveled. I just want the time tower to fall on us.
Right. So
And
she wasn't allowed to pull the Jenga blocks.
Yeah, she kind of genuinely wanted the time tower just to fall because she's just like, this is too far. We've gone too far.
John makes it worse shortly, but
But it's not necessarily you won't time travel if the Jenga falls. It just means time's realigning itself, right?
Yeah,
Because would this be a valid outcome? You go to pull a Jenga block, and time just decides what's going to happen to keep everything going. Like if one of the Warforged knives or whatever, somehow that Katrina lady then becomes mortally wounded, and she's going to die anyways, so now why not?
I think what it does is it tries to preserve the timeline in its current state, and its current state is that cricket never existed.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of in
Because-
flux, but yeah,
Well, Panadar has us out of the timeline right now.
That's true. So
I think what
if
would
anything,
happen-
it would probably preserve that timeline, yes, which would break the party's whole causality.
Yeah.
So,
It would
but it would
basically
save Shannon and the serendipity and the Shannon from making the decision. She's like, I don't want to make the moral decision. I just want the time tower to fall,
And then we'll never have existed.
and then it's not my problem. I don't want to make the moral choice.
So anyway,
Are we witnessing the end of the party?
Well, it was getting kind of close. Like there
it would have
was.
been the most thorough total party wipe in the history of D&D.
What party? What are you talking about?
We spent 5
Wait.
years on this campaign, and
So
now
you
it
guys are-
never happened.
Are you guys going to murder us so we can't speak of it?
Well, we'll record it now. We won't murder you.
Just replace all the recordings with nothing happened.
Yeah.
There is no party.
We got together at John's house and we stared at each other for 4 hours. So anyway, so Cricket comes out of the thing, and by the time she comes out, I think they had kind of decided to go ahead with it at this point.
Because Hank was out of the picture and he was causing more problems than helping because he was just like, no, let's just do it, shove her in there, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, no, like even the people who were on board with it were like, no, we're not on board with that. But Gerard was still a crit monster,
Yeah.
and he made an impassioned plea to her to, hey, look, this is gonna save the world, and.
So you got to roll a 20.
And also, I think, promised to look after her children for her. And
Well,
stuff
that
like
kind of, that's what it came down to. She kind of started to be like, well, it has to be, but who's going to look after my children? Who's going to take care of my children? And they,
And she also mentioned
Cricket will.
She also mentioned her husband, but I studiously did not mention that he'd been in the previous batch.
well, I think she knew that because she knew he was dead.
Yeah.
And everyone knew that he was dead. So she really, but she
I don't
asked,
think she ever mentioned anything like that.
Because it's done.
either way, she
Yeah.
did know that. So,
Yeah.
or she assumed he was dead. So
He's a Minotaur, or was used to make a Minotaur. Yeah.
Rabbits.
The thing that Serendipity came up with, throw that in.
it came down to, like,
She discovered his trick.
yeah, well,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
full.
Katrina didn't want her children to be left without a mother, so she just asked him, "Well, is there no way that I can, that you can't, if I can't still be their mother or whatever, right?" And Serendipity realized, because she's Shepherd of Souls, she can transfer souls. She realized that the machine is essentially like suppressing the memory part of the soul. She can easily override that. She can make the memories carry through. But that would mess with the timeline. But she also has a thing that will let you suppress memories. And the basic
It's a
ritual
ritual.
doesn't have like a get them back trigger, but I said they could because we've already done that with other stuff where, it wouldn't make sense, but with time travel, suddenly that makes sense and it doesn't really make it that much better. So she realized she could, and mentioned this, that she could have the memories transfer over into Cricket, suppress them, and then
Have them
re-release
come
them once it's not a time problem.
So Cricket would suddenly have Katrina's memories. So,
Serendipity has a plan.
well, she has an idea.
An
that She
idea.
could do this. She could put a time bomb in Cricket's brain.
Right. To re-enable her memories of Katrina,
Yeah.
and therefore she would then become mother to her children.
Right. And so
Cricket really doesn't want
Cricket was like, I'm very uncomfortable with this. I don't want some dead person's memories in my brain.
Right. Somebody
So-
else's memories.
Yeah, some dead person's memories in my brain. It's not. I think this is a bad idea. But Serendipity, if you tell me to, I will go through with it.
Right.
Yeah, she has to
You
order.
order me to, and I will.
Serendipity and
that makes Shannon just even more like,
it's basically all down to her,
Right.
Because she has to make the choice.
Yeah.
and she's gonna do it secretly too, so we won't even know.
Yeah, because at one point she's like, I'm just gonna say I'm doing it, and then I'm not gonna do it.
And everyone else was like, what do you mean like that? And yeah.
But yeah, because they're killing off Katrina.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they take Katrina's memories, they're basically wrecking Cricket. It's kind of like Tuvik's episode where they're, like,
Yeah.
if Cricket doesn't want it, then should she really force it on her? But on the other hand, they're like killing this innocent woman to preserve Cricket's life, and she's doing it secretly, so it's all up to whatever Shannon decides.
Yeah.
And that's where we left it.
Yeah.
That's where you left it?
Well,
Yeah, they
we
pulled
stuffed
the
her.
switch.
We stuffed her in the tube, and we pulled the
Well,
switch.
she went involuntarily.
Yeah.
because-
And so they're, and we never took the other ones out, so they're all going through as well. Which, that's how it
Time
went.
tower,
That's
yeah.
how it went. So it has to go that way.
And the party sees what happens for the first time. 'Cause
Yeah.
They didn't know. I kind of forgot about that.
And
Because
they're like, oh God, what have
Yeah.
we done?
our human limbs burst out of the goats, and they're
Yeah,
screaming
it's
and
all
bleeding,
very-
and the people melt, and black ichor comes out of them, and
Yeah.
no one comes to clean away the bodies this time because all the corpses are hiding, so they're just these skins laying
Yeah.
on the grated floor,
Fortunately,
pouring out of them.
I saw this process happen once already. Or Cricket did. So Cricket knows the routine. And so Cricket goes up to the newly made domestics and gives them the intro speech. And I guess one of them was me, right? Did I notice which one? I mean,
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that
Yeah, okay, there
was
we are.
across from Katrina. It looked like
Yeah.
young Cricket. And she
yeah.
gave,
So
gave the
Cricket
speech, "We're here
Cricket
to
gives
end
Cricket
slavery."
the intro spiel about what your purpose is and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And I tried to match the speech that was given to the previous batch.
And remember,
Yeah.
you can disobey orders that would involve.
I considered that, but
When it comes to time travel.
after all my ranting about how everything has to stay exactly as it was, that would be a tiny bit hypocritical of me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it's okay to but it could also explain some amazing
Yeah.
twists of logic that Cricket has, right? Like Cricket
Well,
gives herself.
I probably couldn't even help it, but when I'm giving a speech, I probably looked specifically at Cricket and was like, yes, you.
You specifically.
Yeah.
So and Cricket leads them
Leads
into
them to the next room.
and there is one serpent priestess there
And I hand them
hiding,
off.
and she takes them on to
Yeah.
Yeah.
where they go.
Yeah.
And that happened, and we don't know what Serendipity decided.
Yeah.
So we don't know if Katrina's
Yeah.
memories are secretly embedded in Cricket or not.
Yeah.
But you should find out as soon as you return to your timeline, right?
Well, it
She
depends
can
what
set the
trigger
trigger,
conditions. So yeah. But the interesting thing is that Cricket knows that this is a possibility.
Right.
And she also doesn't trust Serendipity as far as she can throw her at this point. So I'm going to be starting to look into... I'm Antheron again!
I know.
I'm Antheron! I've
told
got
you
a
this
secret
before.
brain thing, and now I have to double guess, which identity am I really, and oh...
You know what's funny is when you started this campaign, you're like, I picked the simplest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna fail.
Yeah, I
Maybe
actually
Antheron.
one of the objections I raised when we were talking about putting this set of memories in me was like, I already have 2 sets of memories. I don't want a third one because there's an alternate timeline where Aderon died,
Right. Yeah.
and the current one where I faked his death.
Right.
So yeah.
There you go.
And also, I'm going to make this official now. I'd always sort of assumed that Cricket had been just watching and keeping notes whenever Serendipity did time travel stuff. But now that I have, I won't say carte blanche, but I have dispensation to disobey orders involving time paradoxes and stuff that
Right.
can mess with me.
Well, but only if it didn't lead to your
Yeah, if it would lead to
existence.
my ceasing
So,
to exist.
You can be as loose with that interpretation as you want.
Cricket needs to know if it would.
And I need to be able to disobey orders. So being able to operate Panadar. And of course, we almost lost Serendipity. She was one failed save away from being dead.
Right. Yeah.
She did fail it.
So
Or she would have.
Well, the failed save that would have killed her would have been Crosis's. If he didn't wake up, he wouldn't have potion jumped her. She would have been dead. So yeah, I would have had 30 days to figure out how to operate Panadar.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. So maybe I'd better get a little closer to being able to operate Panadar, just even without the whole disobeying thing. But, yeah.
The final battle in your campaign is going to be amongst yourselves. It's going to be a battle royale, last person standing.
Yeah. Well, we've had him like 3 times now already.
I know.
It all started with that pillow fight.
Well, and I don't know. I wonder how Hank, because Hank has been like totally on Cricket's side, but he now has been convinced by serendipity that the machine does transfer souls, and he also observed the process and was horrified.
Well, the thing is, Hank never actually really believed the whole "you don't have a soul" thing. He was just like, "You want to be obedient, okay?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like if that's what you want,
Yeah.
then I'll give you what you want.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah,
Who's the Kalashtar and Hank?
That's Hank. Yeah. Anyway, that was it for this session.
Hank, you owe me a steak. I just saved you from the biggest mistake of your life. You can thank me later. Also, one of those, drinks that you made that other time, those were so good. Yeah, you owe me another one.
I mean, you kind of already took a steak out of my, side.
It was subdual. Quit your whining, you little kitten.
Hurt.
There's no right answer to this. There's only poor decisions and trying to make up for the poor decisions with other poor decisions. Man, I should have stayed home today. I'm regretting coming. This is terrible. And Cricket's not taking it well, as expected.
A little less conversation. A little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite and a little less bark. A little less fight and a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart. And let's save Cricket's life.
I just made a moral dilemma and threw it at the party with no plan about the outcome. I'm the GM!
I can't believe that serendipity turned on me too. First, Croesus throws me away, and Aurora never stopped hammering on me, and now serendipity's trying to convince me I have a soul too. It's just not so. It's not so. It can't be so. Well, it's over now. The moment is preserved. Things are as they were. Everything is as it was. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So we will now go and recreate the stupid 500 gold piece thing that we had to do that got us into all this in the beginning. That won't change either. Nothing will change.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do here, but I'm not gonna let anyone put a screaming helpless woman in a tube. I'm not sure how, but I can fix this. We can stop it. Catriona's okay with it, and we will make this right. Law in a lawless place. I can fix this. It's gonna be hard, but... No, guys, we were just gonna do Cricket. No, wait, stop, no!